Hello again. Looks a little fuzzy. There we go. Um, so we've been talking about moving through all these dense energies and architecture and how we're carrying blueprints and other things. So I want to talk just for a minute as part of rebuilding the new earth for me is how I feel inside. I've been through a bunch of past that's taught me a lot around community and handling disputes and conflict. Um, so what I've come to kind of build within myself, because I've been in tantra communities and other things where they did not have leadership. They just had uh, wounded people leading people and creating more wounds. It was quite dark once I understood some of this stuff, but they had no idea of how to deal with conflict. And then when projection and trauma was being projected on other people, it became a nightmare to try and be part of these places. So what I've learned in all of these, and I had to start creating after I was, I don't know what you want to call it, like victimized by the whole process, which I chose. I'm not being a victim or whatever, but it kind of set me on my ass for a long time after all this kind of stuff. But I've come up with a very clear process within me of how conflict is handled. So if we're in a community and there's just a base leadership, and I'm just talking loose leadership. I'm not talking anybody has control or is a judge or whatever. But in the community, we basically handle our disputes ourselves. There is no policing, there is no laws, there is no whatever. Anything that comes up is for people to learn from, and there's a base lesson for both parties that are involved. And basically, in this new community dynamic, we basically don't outsource our judgment, etc., or whatever. If a dispute is happening and it's seen in the community between maybe a couple or two people in the community, a community member can call them into session for what I'll call like dispute resolution, but it's not anything like what we call dispute resolution now. Or the two people that are involved can say, hey, we're at a standstill and I can't deal with this. And basically the model works as this: you call in an elder of the community. It has to be agreed by both parties. And if it's got gender dynamics in it, you might bring in an elder female and an elder male. And I'm talking an elder is not a leader. This is just somebody that's had a lot of experience. They're probably older in age, probably in their late 50s, maybe 60s onwards. And basically they will hear what's stated. And then basically you call in two of your best friends, a male and a female. They're going to hold you accountable throughout all of this. And both parties have it. So there's like 6 people here, 2 from each party. And then the elders, possibly a male and a female. If it's not gender related, it might only be one elder. And basically, they agree to go into a binding assessment of what's going on. The story is stated, but the story is stated in a very different way. It is not stated of complaint of another or being victimized. You're saying, you basically speak of your experience of the situation. When I heard this, I felt this. And when I heard you say this, I felt this. It's very clear and it's very direct about what's going on. You don't actually speak to the other person. You're just speaking to the situation that happened, and then everybody's hearing it. And basically, once both sides have been heard, then there's reflection period from their friends, because this is all about truth. This is all about clarity and resolving the situation. Most often there's an underlying root trauma or trigger that may be happening that may not even be associated to the person. And the first level of this is to bring that up, and we're collectively healing trauma as a community. The people that you're calling in are going to hold you in your truth. Hey, you have some mother wounds or you have some father wounds. I hear that speaking when you're speaking about it, about your partner. So are you sure that that's your partner? Or is that this thing in your past? And then it's like emoting and other things. If somebody's holding you accountable, like a friend that you trust is saying, hey, you've constantly had problems with something in your past or some ex or whatever, they're going to be able to bring that up, and you're going to have to speak to that in that moment. And then you're going to have to be accountable to the energies that you're dealing with. And most often, this would never come to an elder level that's going on or whatever, but it's going to expose the person. People are going to be held accountable, and maybe the wound will show up, and it'll be in a public forum. And there's always an equal and opposite wound that's going on in each situation. So the man and the woman, maybe it's a couple dispute, or the two people, they're going to have to be really vulnerable about the thing that's showing up. And it's actually going to be a very healing experience, because now you have these two people that you trust, your friends, that are going to hold you accountable to whatever's showing up. And it's most likely going to be a very healing and cathartic place. If it's to a point where people aren't admitting things, then it goes to an elder level, where that elder is going to, based on their experience, speak of what they felt or what they heard and expose things. And it may get rid of some of those dynamics of friends protecting friends and all this kind of stuff. But at the end, there's going to be a very cathartic experience of both sides' wounds being exposed, and the trauma that is still left in community or whatever is going to be reduced by the recognition of this. They may even call in to have this being held in a circle where the whole community is watching. They have the choice of their privacy or not, but if the whole community is watching, there's going to be this collective catharsis that's going to happen, because these wounds are being exposed and they're being cleared for the community. You don't put somebody in prison or give restorative justice or these kind of things when these are all lessons underneath, and the community is now taking responsibility for what's showing up in the community. And it's a healing to the entire community by going through all these things and getting them exposed and released. So that's what the New Earth is all about, is healing and stopping blaming and being victims and all this kind of stuff, shining the light on all this kind of stuff, and starting to create a new space where we can be vulnerable, we can be in emotion, we can be in truth or whatever's showing up, anger, frustration, or whatever, but held in a space with loving people around you. And it's not about smashing the person you're against or projecting on them. We're removing the projection, we're pulling it out of the system, and we're creating light for healing and a held container where really raw emotions can come up. This is the New Earth. This is the clearing. We're going to be going through this for a long time, and that's the blueprint that I'm bringing. And I've got that container that I can hold that within me for other people. And I want to teach this to other communities and other people. And it's a really raw and vibrant experience, but it's going to very rapidly pull people through stuff that's no longer serving. So this is my vision of the New Earth, is a place where everybody can be real and authentic and clear and dissolve and love themselves. So this is what I've been building within me for a very long time, and I'm ready to bring it forth. And it's going to be really powerful. That's just one facet of the blueprint that I've had to build and bring forth. So I love you. What's your blueprint? What's the thing that you want to bring forward? Everybody's got a piece. So thank you. Love you all. Talk to you soon.